Hey everyone, it's Lisa, your favorite Baked Floridian. Today we are making what has really become an iconic keto recipe, which is why I wanted to do it. It is basically a Big Mac salad or a Big Mac protein bowl, depending on if you use more lettuce or more protein. As everyone knows, the Big Mac is an iconic sandwich from the McDonald's fast food corporation. It is a burger that started in the 80s when I grew up, and it is a great burger. Basically, the burger is 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. The problem with this recipe for keto people is the bun itself is chock full of carbs, and McDonald's special sauce has quite a bit of sugar in it. So we are going to fix those problems today by removing the bun and making a McDonald's special sauce mock recipe that doesn't have the sugar that the original recipe does. As most of you know, McDonald's special sauce is really just sort of like a Thousand Island, or their take on a Thousand Island. The Thousand Island recipe that I'm going to make today is quite different than the McDonald's version, but very good. You can adjust this recipe to sort of fit your taste, but I usually make it in a mason jar because it will keep for several weeks after you make it. And I like to make quite a bit so I can use it on like chicken strips, or I can use it on salads throughout the week. So I almost always make it in a mason jar. The first thing you're actually going to need, which I didn't pull out yet, is mayonnaise. And I know it's here, I just can't see it. Mayonnaise. So I'm going to use some Hellmann's mayonnaise. We're going to do about 2 cups of mayonnaise. We're going to do about 3 tablespoons of just yellow mustard, a couple of tablespoons of ketchup. We are going to actually put in the sauce half of these onions that I've diced up. Also, this recipe calls for diced pickles. Make sure when you get pickles, you get dill pickles, and that you get them, you want to check the label and make sure there's no added sugar in them, because obviously that's going to add to your carbs. I also take an extra bit of the pickle juice, so you can kind of get the Thousand Island to be a consistency that you desire, so you can add more or less liquid. You're going to want to use a granulated or sweetener. A lot of people use Swerve for this recipe. I'm using Splenda. And then some seasonings I use for this. I use Hungarian hot paprika. I'm going to use a little bit of garlic powder, and I'm going to use a little bit of spice that McCormick puts out called Salad Supreme that I really love. But again, you can adjust this recipe for taste. So basically what I'm going to do is just put everything in this mason jar and kind of mix it up. So let me grab a spoon. I'm going to just eyeball the mayonnaise. It's going to be essentially, like I said, around a cup or 2, and we're just going to stick it right in this jar. And literally, I've made this so many times now that like I said, I just really kind of eyeball the ingredients. But it's roughly 2 cups. And then, like I said, it's about 3 tablespoons of the yellow mustard. A little bit of ketchup. I use Heinz sugar-free ketchup because normally regular ketchup's awful for you. The 2 that I will use, I definitely use Heinz sugar-free, and I also like G. Hughes puts out a really great sugar-free ketchup that's in Walmart's now too. So, like I said, I'm going to add half of my onions that I've cut up for this recipe. The other half I'm going to actually cook in our protein mixture. Like I said, I'm using ground turkey. A lot of you will probably use ground beef. It's just what I had on hand. Either is fine. So I'm gonna add half the onions, the raw onions, to this mix. Mr. Robot isn't the big pickle fan like I am. So I actually, when I make this, I add it to the Thousand Island, the pickles, but I don't add them to the actual salad. You can, if you do like pickles like I do, feel free to add more to the actual salad. The original recipe that I actually copied did call for pickles actually on the salad as well. Like I said, the pickles, and you can adjust the amount of pickles if you're not crazy about them and you don't want as much. Like I said, I'm going to do a little bit of the pickle juice too. If you don't have enough pickle juice or whatever, a lot of people just use vinegar. And then it calls for about 2 tablespoons of sweetener. My idea about sweetener is once you put too much in, you can't ever take it out. So I usually just put a little bit in, taste it, and you can always add more. So I'm gonna put just a little bit in here, maybe a tablespoon. And then I'm going to do half a teaspoon each of the 3 spices I mentioned. The paprika, the garlic powder, because garlic is everything, and this salad supreme, which I love. I use this on pasta salad and everything all the time. Actually, we're going to put a little bit extra of that in there. And then basically you just mix it up. So everybody asks me, how do you know when it's good or it's right, or you have all the right mix? You'll end up knowing once you make it a couple times by color and how much when you taste it, how it is. I taste some. This one tastes pretty good, but it tastes a little heavy mustard to me, so I'm gonna add a little ketchup. And it's a little thin, so I'm gonna add a little bit more mayonnaise. Let me get another spoon. So once you get your sauce perfected, then we're going to go over to the stove and basically start cooking our ground beef so we can get, or our ground turkey like we're going to do, so we can actually get this meal rolling. So we'll be back soon. Okay, y'all, so the first thing I'm gonna do is take my Thousand Island dressing, my Big Mac sauce that I made, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge. I'm gonna tell you, for this recipe, if you can make this Big Mac sauce ahead of time, not only is it gonna save you a lot of prep, but after this sauce has had a chance to sort of, the flavors to sort of marry in that jar, at least overnight, the sauce becomes way more amazing and totally worth it. So, like I said, over here we have actually, we went ahead and put our fried turkey in a skillet and cooked it. Of course, we've seasoned it. Please don't waste your time on my recipes if you're not gonna season your meat, for crying out loud. I've seasoned the ground turkey, cooked it, drained it. Now that it's pretty much done, what I'm going to do is I am going to, right at the very end, as I'm about to stop taking the heat, stop cooking it and take the heat off of the ground turkey or ground beef, I'm going to add the rest of these onions. I don't really want them to cook, or definitely not caramelize. I want them to get maybe a little translucent, but much like a real McDonald's Big Mac, you still want that raw onion flavor. So we're gonna do that. Normally Big Macs come with American cheese on them. Mr. Robot's not an American cheese fan, neither am I really. So we're actually gonna use some shredded cheddar we had. Like I said, this is actually just a pound of ground beef. That's usually enough for me and Mr. Robot, but we like extra cheese on everything. So we're actually going to have some extra cheese on this recipe, and now we're going to just turn the heat off let that cheese melt. So the onions are on top, the cheese is on top, but we're gonna turn the heat off and actually just put this lid on it so the cheese will just melt. And then what we'll do is we will go ahead and assemble our salad slash protein bowl. Okay, y'all, we are back. Our Thousand Island dressing has been in the fridge for several hours. Well, you can't really see it. It's about half full, this jar, based on the amount of ingredients I told you to put in here. The only two ingredients that actually have really any carbs in them are the dill pickles that I used for Mount Olive, and the amount that I cut up was about 2 carbs. And the amount of ketchup that I put in here was about 2 carbs. So really, half of this huge mason jar of Thousand Island dressing is literally 4 carbs for the whole entire thing. You're obviously going to use way less than that on a salad or with chicken fingers or whatever. So this makes a really good and very satisfying low carb sort of dip for things like that. So all I'm really going to do is take some shredded iceberg lettuce and put it on the plate, and then scoop some of our protein mixture, in our case ground turkey, onions and cheese on here, and then I'm just going to drizzle it with dressing. So as you can see, I just put the meat and cheese, and I will add my dressing, and there you have it. This low carb Big Mac bowl, like I said, is really only about 3 carbs, maybe 4 if you get a little crazy with the dressing, but this is a great, highly satisfying meal for anyone that's really feeling the need to go get fast food and wants to break their diet. I know it saved me many times, and I was really thankful when I first ran across the recipe. So guys, make sure you just keep staying the course and finding really great alternatives to some of your favorites. It's definitely what has kept me on track. If there's any recipes that you'd like to see me make on the channel, you can go ahead and email me at bakefloridian@yahoo.com, or you can go ahead and just send me a little message on the Facebook page. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Facebook page and to the YouTube channel. We actually have some great contests that are coming up before Christmas, where we are giving away some fantastic prizes. And as of today, I only have 89 followers. I'm giving out at least 30 giveaways in one single month. We're going to give away something every day. So make sure that you both like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Facebook page, so you are eligible for those. And you won't have to worry about it when it comes. So I will catch you guys on the flip side. Hope you enjoy this recipe as much as I do. Have a great day and stay baked.